Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of those people, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for coming back. But for those of you out there who are new to the show, welcome. Please feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer and soda, water, coffee, tea, whatever you want in the fridge. Kick your feet back, relax. Let's fucking do this. To my left, I'm sitting here today with hip-hop artist, rapper, human being on planet Earth, Johnny Mase.
I'm an alien. I'm actually an alien. I'm not human. I'm not from here, but thank you. Thanks for having me, bro. Johnny Mase.
Yeah, it's good for you to be here. So, what's going on, man? How's life treating you?
Chilling, bro. Living. Just dropped the album January 31st. Different one. It's on all streaming platforms. Go check that out if you haven't. But how are you doing, bro?
I'm good. I've been sitting in here all day talking to a wide variety of people. I record 3 episodes every week. Oh. So I had someone in here. I had a female freelance writer who runs an indie music blog that also writes for Teen Vogue and Nylon.
Oh,
then I had a vocalist of a death metal band. And now I have you.
Hip hop. You was all over the world today. That's wild.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about doing this show. And that's the cool thing just about being a part of any community of creativity. There's so much to learn about, so much stuff going on, you know? So with you and this project that you just dropped, now it's like a single, not a whole album.
No, it was an album.
That's a whole album.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So releasing an album in 2020, you see a lot of people dropping singles and things like that, but you felt like now it was the time to drop an album.
Yeah, me and my manager, T-Bev, we've been trying to decide should we do a whole album or should we just do single pushes? Because it's hard for people to even focus on more than one song at a time these days. It's like they hear one song and it's like, okay, that's it. But going through an album, I thought it was the right thing to do.
I feel like as a new artist, if you're really trying to get people's attention on a wide scale, you have to give them more than one song. Like if you're fucking somebody that people love and they're craving that music, you can drop a single every other week and people will pay attention because they're hungry for it. But when people don't know who you are all like that, I think it's better to be yo, here's an hour of fire.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Take it, and then you could start fucking with the singles and shit like that.
No doubt.
So I know that you've been doing the rap shit for a while.
Yeah.
Now we were talking before we started recording.
It's all good.
It's been, about a decade in.
Yeah, 10 years in, bro.
And, with the current state of hip hop and where things are at now, do you feel like the style of music that you were making 10 years ago is still kind of relevant today? And if not, how have you changed to maybe stay relevant with the times?
No, I'd say the music keeps changing rapidly. It's just people get people's attention spans are so short now that they get bored with something so fast.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's so what's next? What's next? What's the next thing? It's just human nature. So I try to keep up with that and just I got albums done that were not released yet. And it's just trying to be the next sound or what is going to catch people's attention next. You know what I mean?
It could be really hard if you're working on an independent level, how much time it takes to produce something when you're working towards just I'm grinding during the week to save up fucking cash to pay for this shit.
Right.
It might take you a couple months and then the fucking trend's gone. It's you had this song that would have been fire and then now it's just too fucking late to drop it.
Yeah, it's trying to predict the future. It's,
With, this project that you just dropped now being on all streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Are you somebody that does any sort of physical media these days, or are you just all digital?
What do you mean?
Physical. CDs, things like that?
Oh, yeah, we were just going to do that. We didn't. Because the profit margins on it it's so expensive to get the art onto the CD and get the CD printed and then get the music on the CD. And then you're not going to make too much on it. So we were we're just going to do no physical copies.
Yeah, I feel the physical copies it's hard to do unless you're playing a ton of shows that people are actually coming to.
Right.
Then you can move the product and it's an easy way to make money at shows. When it comes to shows and just performing, what's performing been like for you recently?
Performing, we just did I dropped the album. I had a release party for it. We had some dope artists come out for that. It was fun. You know what I mean? We're not selling out venues and everything yet, but I feel like that's not far from, you know what I mean, the future.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not I'm selling out shows right now. No, it's not like that. But we've had some good shows for sure.
No doubt. Whenever you were playing shows, like, have you spent any time on the road, tri-state area, doing anything like that?
Yeah, we went out to shout out to DJ Afterthought. He got us on the we went out to Denver and opened up for Wi-Fi's funeral in Denver. So that was like our first like out of state show, I think. You know what I mean? So that was pretty dope.
That's cool. It's definitely a slow build, but it's super interesting the way that you can build in the hip hop world versus the rock world, because like you can build in the hip hop world just making a lot of backdoor connections, which you can in the rock world too. But with rock, you got to grind. Like you see people on like 3-4 week tours playing like small clubs and stuff like that. And like you can do that in rap too. A lot of people do, but you don't necessarily have to, because there's a lot of places where like maybe you just get on the right show, get on the right platform, get your song on the right playlist, and all of a sudden it's like, fuck, I didn't have to tour. Now I can tour because people want to hear me.
Right. Yeah, we were just up to shout out to DJ Superstar J. We were just up on Shade 45 in New York. We had the single "Get a Million" featuring Jimmy Wapo. It's playing up there every weekend on his set, and like that was a blessing. Shout out to DJ Afterthought for getting us up there. But yeah, talking about that though, I never really thought about what it's like coming up in like a rock and roll compared to hip hop, because like Pittsburgh's so competitive and it's so like cliquey almost. It's like you have to be with the cool or you're not even gonna get looked at. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard.
Well, I think it's just you have a lot of people with like real shitty self-esteem issues, and like they think they're the fucking shit, but they're not, and they don't want you to realize that they're not the shit, so they don't let people get close to them.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. I think that it's like dropping the ego a bit and learning to just connect with people. Like, yo, we all want the same thing, and there's plenty of food for everyone to eat.
Facts.
In a way, if you learn how to work with each other. Like, you know, two heads are better than one, right? That's the old saying. But yeah, I mean, somebody like I've been pretty involved in hip hop for a large part of my life. Like I make beats, I rap. That's like my main thing.
Send me a pack, bro.
That's my main thing that I do. And it's a thing where it's so cliquey and segregated, like where it's like, you know, I've been doing shit since like 2008. Probably almost as long as you have, and this is the first time either of us are sitting down.
Right.
And we're in the same city, but it's so cut up and spliced in its own weird little ways that like it might take you 10 years to meet a motherfucker in Pittsburgh, and the city ain't that big.
Right.
It's
facts,
so
bro.
weird.
Imagine like LA and shit. Like, I feel you, bro.
It's just weird how disconnected everything is. But with making those connections, you know, what's that been like for you? Because obviously you're making connections. You're playing in Colorado, you're going up to New York, you're starting to make those moves. You're talking to people.
As separated as it is, like I feel like it's easier to find like people that genuinely are doing things for love. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely artists out there like in the area, like Bev has found a small group of artists that he signed, like me, Cam Viola, I Am Douglas, like, and it's really just genuine love. Like we're not doing anything to get a step above, or it's just like it's competitive because it's like everybody wants to be the best. Exactly, you feel me? But it's not like, but there's other artists out there that we fuck with, like Stoney and you know what I mean? Fez doing his thing, Hardo, Day Cools. Like there's a lot of artists doing their thing, but it's like it's competitive, and we want to link, but it's like at the same time. There's a lot, I don't know, you could tell when it's genuine love and when it's like, okay, I'm gonna, you feel me, throw some shade or whatever.
I think that's the other good thing about time, like spending that time, that decade, it humbles you a bit.
Right.
Lets you shave the fucking ego off and lets you learn how to like communicate and talk with people, because like you, unfortunately, just deal with bullshit. You deal with bullshit people and bullshit promoters, bullshit artists, bullshit engineers. And it sucks going through that bullshit videographers. Like you just get fucking ripped off for fucking 10 years.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on it. Don't get me started.
Dude, I'm saying like I've been there. You know what I mean? Like I know what it's like. So I've gone through it. But now it's like I'm finally at this point where I feel confident and I have like the right team of people around me that like I feel good about doing stuff. There's been plenty of times where I felt like I was a fucking psychopath for still trying to do this shit.
I hear you. Yeah. But you tread through those dark times, bro. You see that light at the end of the tunnel.
That's how you know. Like whenever I meet people such as yourself that have been, you know, really putting in that time, it's like this motherfucker gives a shit about this. This isn't like some fucking like, oh, you know, I thought it would be fun to rap, so I fucking downloaded Fruity Loops and recorded some shit in the bedroom, which is tight. I got
respect for that artist too.
Please make music, but yeah, it's just like you can usually tell when somebody's like really gone through.
And definitely. And bro, it's like I always think Cause I have a friend that's an artist. I'm not gonna name him, but it's like he's always like, man, what if I don't do this by this? Am I gonna give up? I'm like, bro, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
This is like I could lose everything and I'm still gonna make music. I could never make it. I don't care if I make $1 off it. I'm still gonna do this because this is what I love to do. And it's like really all I got. Like, okay, I can go find a job and do this and this and get through life and be okay and settle. But like I'm never gonna give up because this is what I want. This is what I love to do.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's the best attitude to have. I mean, you want that's finding that right balance of keeping your expectations high, but also like realistic. Because you got to know what you're capable of. If you try to, I think a lot of artists just try to get too much too quick. They're not ready for it. And then they end up being jaded because it didn't work out. It's you just got to put time into this stuff. It's like,
definitely.
It's like you've been fucking doing this shit for 4 months.
Right.
You're not that good.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
But even if you are that good,
it doesn't matter how many fucking Instagram followers you buy and all that other shit. You might look good online, but if people come to your show and you're just staring at the stage the whole time performing like trash, you ain't ready.
Right.
And people are gonna see it.
Yeah, definitely.
You just got to take the time to like build. So going back.
And hold on, anything that comes that fast. Is it ever like I've never had something really good come overnight?
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's like fast
usually
food.
Terrible thing. Yeah, bro, you feel me? Facts. Like something bad's gonna come with it, bro. It's like, but when you keep working and you don't give up, and then you get what you work for. It's like, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about this build a bit then.
Yeah.
So we are, going back to the beginning when you were starting.
Yeah.
What was it like? How did you even get involved in any of this?
I went to Cal U and just found some boys that was rapping, and I just ended up getting on the mic and ended up loving it, and then started just continue with it and taking it more serious. Ended up linking with Bev at Cal, and then he helped me a lot because he believed, like almost before I believed. It was like, dude, like I like your sound, we could do something. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Ended up getting into ID Labs, and it was a good studio, so our quality of sound went up, and been going ever since.
Yeah. So then moving forward into like networking and starting to meet other people, meet other engineers, other artists and things like that. What was that like for you in terms of like, we were talking about like the city being a little bit cliquey and things like that. And when you're starting out, you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Like how did you meet people? I imagine like working at ID Labs, you probably met a lot of people through there.
Yeah. It's just a learning process. Like you meet people that you just go to shows and bump shoulders with the right people and then meet friends through them. And it grows spider webs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With the stuff that you have on the horizon, 'cause I mean, you're probably always working a few steps ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is there any?
We're working, like the music I'm in the studio making right now isn't going to drop for 2 or 3 years. And it's crazy to think about because we got like 4 albums like done. And it's just going to make the money, make sure it's going to get dropped and promoted to the right people and to the right crowd. And then it's like, it costs a lot more money to get things heard than you think. Everybody thinks, oh, I got a following, it's going to blow. Like, no, you got to market yourself right, or it could be all for nothing. And that's like a really sad thought.
Yeah. So what was that? What was the first time, if there is a situation, like the first time you realized that? Was there maybe like a project that you put a lot of work into?
Bro, listen, last year I got DJ Holiday. He started with a tape, and we were like, man, we linked with Holiday. This is it. Everybody's it's a big name. And then it was just like, oh, okay. And then you growing up, you watch Wiz link with like Lantern, and you're like, yo, this is whenever I started believing, like, Wiz is it, boom. And it's like, no, it wasn't it. It takes more. It's cool. It's cool that we link with him. He's cool. He did a lot of shout outs. He shared a lot of stuff for us, but that's still not enough. You always need that extra push.
Yeah, it's always so much more than you would think.
Yeah.
And, that's one thing, just being the artist. But I think like being somebody that's outside of it, like a fan, I don't think they understand all the time how much power they have. Like even your homies just be like, yo, like I'm not trying to sound like a fucking baby over here, but please
share my shit.
Share it. Takes you 2 seconds. And it's like,
man.
It's worth so much.
Nobody wants to look like the fan though, bro. Everybody's the cool guy. Everybody wants their picture to get shared, and like nobody wants to be that. They feel like they're lower than you or something. I don't know what that is. I haven't gotten that.
There's a thing with social media now, and a lot of people, like everybody is kind of like a rock star in one way or another. Whether they are a rapper or, they just go out to eat a lot and be taking pictures of fucking sandwiches. Like everybody has their thing, and people like want their their social media to be their thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't ever mind showing love. Like I share my homies that are artists, I share their work, and I like pictures, even if it is just food and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, just look at me kind of guy. Like I know it takes to give, but it takes to get, but I don't know. Yeah, we haven't got where we're not settling yet. That's for sure.
Yeah, you just gotta keep pushing. I think just keep meeting people and don't it's like you think about how many people are on the planet. For
crazy.
real.
It's crazy to think.
And the amount of people that you're marketing to, I think it's real easy for some people to get overwhelmed by that. And then even worse, some people just get happy with where they're at. Like, that's cool. Like I got 100K followers on Instagram. Like that's still not really shit, depending on like how big you're trying to get. You know what I mean? Some people are happy with that, but I mean, in terms of hip hop, a lot of you motherfuckers are trying to take over the world all the time. Facts. So
as you should,
100K doesn't really feel like a whole lot.
That's another thing with me. Like I just don't see myself settling. Like even millions of dollars or millions of followers, it's not going to do it for me. You know what I mean? I think the chase is the most important part of it.
Because I mean, you were just saying before how like you don't care if you ever make $1 off this, you're still going to be doing it. So what's the difference if you have $1 or 1,000 or 10,000? I mean, I'll tell you this: you get a couple $1 million in your pocket, you're gonna change. Homie.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
you're gonna be a much different person. You're gonna
Amen.
You're gonna have a. I don't know. It will change. I think it changes a lot of people for sure.
I hear you. Hopefully, I'm back here with you in a year or two, pulling up in a Lambo instead of that Mercury. You feel me?
I'd appreciate that, man. So with everything that's been going on now with this project that you just dropped, how's reaction been? How you feeling about it?
I think it's good. I think it's better than any one that we've dropped so far. So like that's a good thing. You know what I mean? And we really haven't got to dumping in all the money and into the promo that we have ready for it yet. So like it's got a good natural push. And like I think that's a blessing. We got Crooked Eye on a song. So shout out to Crooked Eye, the homie. We flew out to Cali to shoot a video for it. We didn't drop that yet. We have a video for the WAPO Jam we didn't drop yet. So like I think those are going to be really big things. We dropped our first video. It was a single off it, Pull Up, featuring Kilo Dutch in like December. That was doing good. The tape dropped. We dropped Laughing to the Bank video. That one's really booming on Facebook. So we got 3 more videos off of this tape to drop. So we're not just like dropping it and then looking on to the next tape like we did with previous tapes. It's like we got a more thorough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Promotional.
It seems you're definitely doing it the right way as far as I'm concerned. I mean, a lot of great things haven't happened for me yet, so what the fuck do I know? I just imagine that you're doing it as far what I think is the more smarter way to do it in terms of just like, instead of just like recording a song, putting it out, like, oh, what's next? So maybe we'll film a video in a couple months. Like, nope, it's like we got a whole album, we got these videos, we have a timeline maybe kind of in place of how we want to release things. And then you just ride on that for a bit. Yeah. Because there's a lot that goes into the promotional stuff and that's what I want to get into you with, is like in terms of like what you are doing to promote this stuff and what advice you might have for other up and coming artists in terms of dropping a tape. Like what would you suggest people do?
I think the promotional part of the process is equally important to the recording part of it and getting it mastered and everything. Like it's all one thing. Like it's not just like, okay, I'm going to record a really dope album and then not put anything into it. Even if you have a following, like Drake, you think Drake's not pumping millions of dollars into marketing?
Coke and Pepsi still pump millions of dollars into
like, marketing. Bro, that shit is important because you're getting it out to eyes and ears of people that might not follow you. And it's just like, that's super important. So I would say if you're a young artist just starting, focus on your marketing and get people around you that care to tell their friends about it. Like we just did a texting strategy. We have this little paragraph. It's like, hey, you want to win $500? Copy this, paste it, send it to 10 people, screenshot your inbox and send to us. And then every week we're giving away $100 just by getting the text out there, because then it has the link of the album at the bottom of it. So like most people are just going to copy and paste it and send it and not listen to the album. But those 1 or 2 that tune in and they're like, oh my God, it's a new artist, and follow me. It's like, okay, $500, but we might get 200 new fans off it, or whoever knows how many. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ways, and I like hearing like those like alternative tactics about promoting stuff. And it's a little bit more organic too, instead of just like
That's what he said.
throwing, throwing some money at Facebook's algorithm, which I mean, you got to do that too. You have
Facts,
to.
you
It
have
does
to.
help, but it can't be the only thing that you do. And again, if you're putting thousands of dollars into a project, why not put thousands into the promotion?
Right.
You don't want to fucking be like, here's my $4,000 album and my $20 Facebook post.
Right, bro. What do you? Yeah,
And
what do
also-
you? It don't
and
add
on the-
up.
And on the flip, you don't want to spend $20 recording something and throw $500 at it, expecting people are going to give a shit about it.
Exactly.
Like, it does. I think
it has
that-
to balance.
Yeah, the yin and yang, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
It's the thing that's really cool about the world of hip hop, especially now, is like, since money is such a big culture of it,
Yeah.
you have a lot more people that are thinking a lot more like entrepreneurs in terms of putting the stuff out there. And I like have to like stop myself from reaching across this table sometimes when I'm sitting or with like indie rock people and things like that are like trying to be very much like, oh, well, it's not about the money and things like that. Now that's cool
It
if
is
that's
about
your
the money.
thing. But if you're talking to me about like one of your goals is to be touring the country and you're simultaneously not
it's not-
asking for money at shows,
Right.
you're creating your own problems.
And you know what else? You know what you just jogged a thought in my mind, bro? The image of hip hop, and everybody's like, oh, I already have it. Oh, I'm rich and famous already. But then what happened to whenever Eminem was like rock bottom and like talking about being in a trailer park and not having shit? Where did that hip hop go? Now it's all just like, oh my God, I'm rich, I'm already on, I'm this, I'm that. What happened to the I don't have it hip hop?
Instagram.
Yeah, for real. Bro, that shit's weak. I'm about to drop a tape like that, bro.
Everybody's like, it's a flex. Everybody's trying to flex constantly, and whether they're putting out music or not, it's like everybody wants to put the best image of themselves out there at all times. So of course that blends into the music stuff and all creativity.
I think yeah, but just like fashion, every 10 years it's like goes back to what it was or whatever.
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
I think that's gonna make another run. What do you think?
Definitely.
Like,
It
the
happens.
broke hip hop. I can't wait for that. I don't have shit. I can't wait for that hip
Well, I
hop.
think what it is just, artists having their own voice. And I think that, for as many people that exist that put out music, when you think of like truly stand out hip hop artists, like ones where it's like, name me the top 10 influential, every single one that you think of, they're going to be people that had their own unique voice and they were talking about their own shit and their own struggles and things like that. It wasn't like some copy paste bullshit.
Right.
But there's a whole lot of fluff in the middle. There's just a whole lot of people that want to be the next Eminem that,
Right.
grew up in Swickley.
Yeah. Facts, bro. Do you feel me? Like,
And it's
that
just-
ain't it,
and
bro.
It ain't it. And like, yeah. And then on the flip, you'll have, because people, I think there's a thing too with like this social media culture and just internet in general. People always want what they don't have. You know what I mean? People that grow up in a nice neighborhood want to romanticize what it was like growing up broke.
Right.
And people that grow up broke obviously want to
I'm trying to
romanticize
hit
what
the
it's like growing
Hamptons.
up.
Yeah.
Grow up being rich. And I think, when you're writing music, you have an opportunity, do I want to tell people my story? If this is something that I'm embarrassed about,
Right.
I'm going to paint a picture of the person that I want to be.
Right.
And then sometimes you put that out, you get the energy that you put out into the world. So for some people, putting out that I'm the shit energy convinces a lot of people that, hey, maybe they are the shit.
Yeah, I feel you. Nah.
You could definitely trick people into thinking you're cool.
Exactly.
There's
It's
a lot
not
of
hard,
people that do
especially with filters and everything, bro. I swear to God. But no, speaking of embarrassment, bro, it's like, bro, I'm telling you, like, with everything been going good with the music, I've been having some hard times too. Like, I'm in here with a black guy. You feel me?
Okay.
Like, bro, I just had a bad breakup.
Oh,
like, everything isn't all like, you know what I mean? Cotton candy and pillows and fluffy bears and Valentine's days like that. Like it isn't. I just dropped a song. That's what I'm getting to. I just dropped a song called "Losses" on SoundCloud, and it's just like talking about like, man, like shit can be hard too. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get into what it was all about, but like I've been taking losses. You know what I mean?
You're
But
still a
it's-
human.
You feel me? Exactly. But
I-
it's like that's the thing about me though. Like these losses don't make me, and it's like, man, I'm gonna keep my feet moving regardless. And what's about to come. And like the people that laugh and all this, oh, look at Mase getting beat up, little video on Facebook. Look at Mase getting beat up. The people laughing, bro, in 6 months, are y'all still gonna be laughing about that? And in a year, what if this music takes off? I got a screenshot of everybody laughing. Don't ask me for shit. Don't come for no tickets. You feel me, bro?
Sure. I feel like anybody that's ever lived a real life is taking a fist to the face. It happens.
Oh yeah, you gotta stand on your toes sometimes. Yeah,
I've definitely had my jaw broken. It's happened on some dumb shit. It's happened. And I'm not even like a fucking physical person like that, but it's like the world exists outside of yourself. And that's why I think that there's a lot of respect that I have for any artist that's putting out any content at all, because I know goddamn well that, you know, when I'm meeting people, everybody has their own struggles. So it's like, fuck, amongst all this other crazy shit that you're doing, probably working a job, dealing with, you know, family drama, relationship drama, kids, school, whatever. Lots of people have lots of shit going on. The fact that you still have the time to write and record a whole goddamn album and release it amongst everything else, because like, it's like we're not living on these budgets where we get to just live in the studio,
hit the beach, you know, and fucking
fucking write my next album, you know, at fucking Disney World or something like that. You know, it ain't how it's working for us. So there's a lot of stuff that I think gets overlooked. I just had this moment of realization with, I play in a band outside of my rap bullshit, and we've been going like nonstop for about 3 years, like playing shows, writing and recording. And just these past few months, we haven't been playing a whole lot, and we've just been kind of like taking time off. It's like everybody takes times off, but when you're working on like the schedule that we are, there's no time to take time off.
Right, bro.
So you're working 24/7 sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, you know, full-time job, dealing with family, trying to keep people happy, and still trying to put, you know, maybe another 8-10 hours a day into your work. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you still got to sleep.
Right,
so like,
bro.
What are you finding time for all this stuff? You know, and it's like, how are you finding time for all this shit? So I know that you had mentioned before when we first were talking, I was like, yo, you need a soda, need a beer, anything. You had mentioned that you're sober.
Yeah. So 5 months, end of February will be 6 months clean.
Congrats, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's that?
It wasn't easy. It was just like, I just come from like, both of my parents were drug addicts, and it's just like genetic for me to fall into alcoholism. I did have a problem with alcohol, and you talk about putting a beer out. Well, I'm going to be chopping something up on the table in a second after that. You feel me, bro? I was getting busy. But like, man, I cleaned up and just like separated myself from the friends that was partying too much, and just taking care of my kid. And it's just like, I straightened up, focused on the music, put my money into that. Cause you could hit the bar and spend $100 in like an hour at the bar. So, I could get some studio time.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much money you could throw out. Like, and you know, I don't know. Well, that's not what I'm curious. I mean, I can rant about that for a while. I'm even trying to get into that. But what I do want to get into, though, which is the inevitable topic of just being somebody sober in the world of hip hop.
Oh man, it's like, man, I'm very aware because of it. Like you hit a show and you're always getting drunk. You're not like really taking in the energy around you, and it's like, man, I'm just so observant now. It almost like gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. I definitely I'm not the best at this rule, but I try my best. Nights that I have rehearsals and nights that I have shows, I try not to drink. You know what I mean? If I'm just chilling, I can have a beer at the house. I mean, like, I've never been like a big drug guy, so like I keep it. I also come from a family with a lot of fucked up shit. But I mean, life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. Like when I was starting out doing rap shit, I wasn't even drinking. I mean, I wasn't 21, so of course, I mean, that's the type of thing. I was never like a crazy rebellious kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, you know, I loved rap, and I started playing shows, and it was always this weird thing where people just assumed, like, you know, like
you're high.
People trying to give me this, give me that. And like, it was always really weird trying to like push it away. One thing that I think is really cool now is like this, I feel like being self-aware and talking about like mental health and like taking care of yourself is something that is actually like okay to acknowledge in the world of hip hop now, where it wasn't maybe back in, you know, the day. Like we say, Eminem had some problems.
Hell yeah,
probably should have talked to some people. And he made a lot of great music, but you know, objectively maybe not the best human being at that time. But that's the type of thing, is like, you know, that chaos definitely created a lot of good art. But I think it's definitely a good headspace to be in. I think you can just focus so much more without that.
It's definitely changed my topics of what I'm making music about. I used to do like a lot of party songs and just talking about even just smoking weed, but like I even cut that out. You know what I mean? So it's like it's made me focus on other things like just even like it sounds corny, but love. I make love songs now. It's just I never think I was gonna do that shit. You know what I mean? Now it's like I don't know. It's not just like, oh, I'm high, pop a pill, do this. You know what I mean? Now it's like, what else do you have whenever you put the drugs to the side?
I feel like if you really want true longevity, you need to like put that shit to the side. Like what artists, can you name me any artists that do that kind of stuff that remain relevant for any long period of time?
I don't know. Migos is definitely on a run with it though.
When's the last time they've dropped anything?
Maybe they are just living off the songs they got. I don't know. But yeah, I feel you. It's crazy because like the drug culture doesn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Everybody always wants to hear songs about popping bottles and shit. I was just in the studio with Bev and I tried to make a club song and I couldn't. I was like 2 bars from finishing and I was like, Bev, this isn't me. Like I don't even hit the club. What am I doing? You feel me, bro?
Yeah,
seriously.
That's good that you acknowledge that, because if you don't, it's going to be very transparent. People they're going to see it, and then it's not going to work out.
Right.
It's just not going to work out.
Right, bro.
Yeah, but with, artists like Migos and things like that, because again, those are like young people doing that club shit, and it's just like it's music. It's not for me. I'm happy that it exists, but like I'm really curious to know like what any of them are going to be doing in 5 years from now. Are they still going to be doing that? I'd be
surprised.
I don't know.
Maybe their music will change.
I think that there's enough talent in there for them to like break off and probably have successful solo careers. One of them will probably just go into producing and doing behind the scenes type shit. You know what I mean? Which is fine. That's all tight. But like, yeah, there's just something that's really always temporary about artists that like make it big off of that club type
I feel
shit.
That. Yeah, like even Lil Pump and them. What are they gonna do?
Oh yeah. Well, that whole demographic of people. I mean, like, how many of those fucking kids have died already?
Oh my god.
And that's fucking
sad.
frightening.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Going back into like that sober talk. What better reason? I mean, it's like
it's getting bad out here.
Like, what kind of example do you want to put out into the world
that's
for people?
It too. Like, I'm really thinking about my kids now, man. Like, they're gonna hear my music eventually and start to understand like what I'm talking about. Do I want to keep like, yo, I'm getting fucked up? Like whenever Lil Giotto is like pressing play, you feel me?
Sure. Yeah, I imagine that definitely like changes your perspective on the world around you. I don't have any.
I was just gonna ask you.
I don't have any kids. No. So you have multiple.
2
kids. How old are they?
My oldest is 5. My youngest is like 1.5.
Oh yeah, that 5-year-old's gonna be getting into music real soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing is like, what do you want to put them around? Just like thinking about. It's real easy to say like, oh, like that shit doesn't matter, but I think about the fucked up shit that I saw when I was a kid and how that's like stuck with me. Like, there's a lot of shit that I had to like work through like coming up, you know what I mean? Like realizing like, fuck, like I shouldn't have been
this wasn't normal.
It definitely changed. And like, people like to, for a long time, you like to say like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. It's definitely a big deal.
But speaking on that, bro, I don't know if you know my brand, Never Been Normal. 44 people have it tattooed. I got it tattooed and I started paying for tattoos and people just started running with it. But it's because of like childhood trauma and like realizing like, yo, I'm fucked up. Like I never been normal. And then like just realizing that like sobering up and like getting a third eye view to like there is no normal. And like society has this thing where it's like, oh, you have to do this, this, and this to fit in. You got to pop pills to fit in. You got to go get drunk to be like the rest of them. It's like, no, you don't. You're cool how you are. So I may have never been normal, and it's been taking off.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's really
thanks,
really cool
bro.
That. No, that's awesome. I think that there's just it's strange. Like I feel like in a way, I wonder, going back to that, how chaos creates sometimes beautiful art, like with like Eminem. Like I wonder if if my childhood would have been a little bit healthier, if I still would have gravitated towards all this art and all this shit that did. I don't know, like
probably not, man.
So I don't know. I'm not thankful for a goddamn thing to happen. I can tell you that. But also, like, at least I feel like I made the best of it. I'm still here. There's a lot of people that, again, going back to those fucking kids, like who's the most recent? Somebody just passed away. One of those Juice World.
Juice World, yeah. I think that was accidental though. He was like trying to get out of charges and pop too many pills to like hide it from the police, and I don't think he was like trying to die though.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people are. But I mean, like that's just fucking wild. And him and fucking Mac Miller, Lil Peep, and then
Mac, rest in peace.
Then there was the shit with XXX too, which was more. That was
some street shit.
Yeah, but that's still like.
Right.
Why the fuck is this happening with kids that are so young too?
Right.
I mean, Mac wasn't that. I mean, he's younger than us, but like thinking about like, you know, people that are like 21 shooting each other.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah,
but then
bro,
I think about
sad.
the dumb shit that I did when I was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
And it's like now I'm at a point
surprised
where
I'm here. Yeah,
I'm at a point now where it's like I see 16-year-old kids and I'm like, those fucking kids. It's like the first time happening in my life. And it's like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Just how fucking wild and out of control some things are.
Yeah, it's nature.
You grow up quick though. You grow up real quick.
Yeah, definitely it goes fast.
So I mean, I can't imagine like fucking having a kid and just
yeah, you feel me, bro? But it's opened my eyes so much that
you gotta start worrying about like who your kids hanging around and all that shit.
I'm not really ready
like
for that.
Their families all fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna like not try to hide anything from them. I'm gonna be very transparent and just be like, hey, this is what it is. What to look out for, because I didn't get those talks when I was younger. Like, hey, if they're doing this, you should probably avoid that shit.
Yeah, you know, I think that the world, as complex as it is, it's a lot simpler. I think people make the world more complex by avoiding problems.
Seriously. Yeah.
And if you just are straight up with people, tell people what it is, even if we take this back to the music conversation, you know, like working with a shitty videographer, we'll say.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
my
God.
God.
I am paying you to do this thing. Are you going to do it? Yes or no? Don't fuck with me.
Right.
If you're not going to do it, that's fine. Let's just do ourselves both a favor.
Yeah, like you can't nerf the world.
What is it with videographers?
Oh my God. I don't know. I think whenever they shoot the
in the
video, they
hip-hop
think
world.
they own the video. Like, bro, you don't own the video. You shot my video. We paid you for your time. Bro, I just had a videographer. We wanted it mixed down again. We wanted some things edited for the WAPO video. And he's like, okay, the one dude didn't do it. So we were going to send it to another videographer. To get him to send it, he was like, it's going to take 2 hours. I need $200. I was like, dude, fuck you. You feel me? That's my video. Why do I got to pay you again to click your mouse and move some shit over? Like, no, fuck you. You feel me?
Sure.
And it's just shady, bro. It's like, that's like extortion for something I already paid for.
Yeah, it's hard. Like it's funny. It's like being on the side of like maybe somebody that is creating content. I can maybe see like, okay. So you want me to send this project to somebody. It's going to take 2 hours. Maybe I can't use my computer in that 2 hours of time. So you're taking 2 hours of work away from me. But then it's like, well, do the fucking shit right the first time.
And we wouldn't even
be good.
Yeah.
But then it's also okay. Well, it's like maybe there just wasn't good communication about what you want. So it's like you keep going back and forth on that shit. So it's just like it's a matter of just being like as clear and as simple as possible with people, and just like you know, when you're building those working relationships with people, just like anytime I'm like hiring somebody for something, I like always hit up somebody else that worked with them first. Like yo, like so you did a video with them.
Cool?
Like, was it cool? Like how? You know, what was, I don't even ask about rates or nothing like that, because people's rates change and shit like that. I was like, what was the process like? You know, did they have good ideas? You know, was it turnaround okay? Were they cool? Were they receptive to your ideas? Were they, you know, did they just not give a fuck?
Right. Yeah, bro.
So that's advice right there, I would say.
Yeah, soak that in, new artists.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask people for help.
Speaking of new artists, man, I want to say this. You gotta be, I don't know what we were talking about earlier, Click, but you gotta be, to even make a song and put it out there for the world to judge you, that takes like a lot of courage.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
so, like, in your first song, don't let the world discourage you from making art. Like, go out there and make some art and fuck what anybody thinks. You feel me?
Yeah, if you think it is good, then it's good to you. And you gotta feel yourself for other people to feel you. But if you put out shit where it's like it's not super confident and you're not super sure of it or anything like that, that people are gonna see that. It's like I can hear a song from somebody and be like, this motherfucker is confident. Or you can hear something and it's like it just sounds like, but it's fine because you the only way you can get good at something is to be not good at it for a long time.
Yeah. What do I want to not be good
But
at?
I think that just boils down to that like survival of the fittest mentality.
True.
I mean, it's like everybody that starts doing music, you're not good when you start.
Not at all.
And either you work through it or you don't. And if you don't, then
Wasn't
survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, of course, there's probably plenty of people that could be great, but I think so much of it has to do with making sure like you feel yourself for sure, and the environment that you have around you. Make sure you have people around you that even if they don't fuck with it, at least make sure that they're not like discouraging you, or telling you that like you're dumb for thinking like because like I've definitely had people around me in my past that have just like not given a fuck about what I was doing, and people telling me I should do something more like this or more like that. And it's like, that's not what I want to do. It's like, I'd rather do what I want to do and have 10 people fuck with it than be a fucking cartoon character, or play Halloween dress up to make 100 people happy. That's not who I am.
I feel you.
It's a waste of time.
And with social media, people are so cruel, bro. So cruel, bro. And like even we're with the promotion, like we promoted that pull up video with Kilo, and on Facebook it was just like reaching the wrong crowds or something, but people were like, this is trash, this auto-tune garbage. I'm like, man, I'm paying and it's reaching people where they're telling me I'm like shit. And like people are so mean, especially people you grew up with, bro, because they feel like they got dealt the same cards and they're just settling where they're at, and you're trying to do more. And it's not like, oh, you think you're better, or your ego or whatever. It's like people like hate to see you not give up. And with social media, they'll be so mean. It's like they want you to quit everything and just curl up in a ball and cry. And it's just like the social media world can be such an evil place. But like, I don't know. I'm the type of person like you got to kill me to shut me up. You feel me?
Sure. I mean, when it comes to like any sort of negative comments, if I ever get anything on my stuff, I'm just always like, thanks for listening.
Yeah, you're better than me. I'm like, fuck off.
I mean, it's just like one of those things where it's like, I'm just happy to know that people are seeing it. It's like, I would rather, even though it sucks if you got people like talking shit, at least I know people are seeing it. And maybe some of that shit that they're talking, maybe there's a little bit of it that's valid. And I know I got to work on myself a little bit more. It's a lot. I'd rather have that than put something out there and just crickets. Like nobody's.
I feel that. I see what you're saying.
Nobody's saying that they like it, but nobody's saying that they hate it. It's just like nobody's here. Like I just feel like I'm in a room by myself, like going crazy. Like I thought this was tight,
yo.
So
I feel you, bro.
At least people know like
that's
what's
a good
going
way to
on.
take it.
And the other thing too is like you think about like people don't use the internet a whole lot, especially in comment sections, to spread positivity.
Oh my God.
You
barely ever.
Mean? Whether it's a YouTube or Yelp with restaurant reviews and things like that, people will only go out of their way to complain about something.
Why is human nature like that, bro? Why are we such a fucked up species? Like
I don't know. It's so funny because like, I can hear or I can eat at 10 places, right? And it'll be like, oh, all this food was good. Word, go home. But then like, one thing gets fucked up and all of a sudden now I have this, whoa, party time.
Come on, Dad. What the fuck?
And it's like, all of a sudden now I have this energy, to post this long negative thing because something didn't go my way, as if I'm that fucking important.
Right. No, I feel you, bro. Yeah, I don't know why people won't go out their way often to say good things. And then it's like, man, one thing pisses them off. They're like, yo, fuck typing up a whole Yelp reviews, like you said.
I think the best thing my only advice would be is at least people are seeing it. And there's a good chance that people are seeing it and fucking with it. But again, people don't leave nice comments.
That's the thing about bad publicity too. Like I think there is bad publicity. Like people say like, yo, this fucking sucks. And some people would just go agree. But like, some people might be like, yo, this fucking sucks. They're still advertising it for you. And somebody might go listen for themselves and be like, yo, they're tripping. Like, I fuck with this song. I fuck with this, whatever.
Nobody else can give you bad publicity. The only person that can give you bad publicity is yourself.
It's hard to say. I was struggling with that. Yeah.
We're both fucking rappers. Can't even say a goddamn word. Publicity.
Shit.
Yeah, we're trying. We're doing our best.
We're trying.
But yeah, it can be really hard to get people to be positive on comment threads, because it goes again to like people not wanting to share your video, people maybe not wanting to look soft because like they're like, good work, bro, with a thumbs up emoji, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that makes them look weak or something like that. But
Yeah,
no, that makes me want your friends.
Makes me want to take a second to shout out the Never Been Normal gang and everybody that like takes their time to show support, because like that's not the cool thing to do. It's not cool to support your homie or your friends anymore. It's really not the cool thing to do. So like everybody that goes out their way to show me love and stream my shit and share my shit and get my brand tatted, like you're fucking awesome, and you make all of this worth it, and fuck everybody hating. Yeah,
that's the best thing to do, because I feel like even in those times when like, you know, maybe you have, you know, 10,000, 100,000, whatever, however many views on a video or something like that, and it's like, okay, you got, you know, 10 negative comments or something like that, it ain't a big deal. You still have like all of that other positivity around it. There's just gonna be people that don't like anything. There's always people that hate something. I bring this up a lot on the show, but my first job ever was at Taco Bell. And I got this job with my first 2 paychecks. I saved up and bought my first beat machine. So this was like when I was like first like really getting into making music. And I had a friend that I worked with at Taco Bell, 16-year-old Brian at Taco Bell working. And I remember just being like, you know, new to shit, self-conscious, just and talking with my coworker. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever gonna like fuck with my shit. And he was just like, there's people that don't like the Beatles. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And like ever since then, like I've always just thought about that, you know, and it just like really stuck with me, you know, ever since, you know, making them fucking cheesy gordita crunches to right now recording podcasts. I always remember that. Like there's always some people are going to hate stuff, but at the flip, there's somebody looking for exactly what you're doing. So it's just finding those people.
And if you're watching this, tag Taco Bell, and we need a sponsorship.
yeah, I would take it.
But no, you're completely right, bro. You're completely right.
So now moving into 2020, what is on the horizon?
We're going to finish dropping these videos for the tape. We're going to keep pushing these videos. We're at 44 tattoos for Never Been Normal. As soon as we hit 50, I'm dropping Never Been Normal 2. I dropped Never Been Normal, the first one, a couple years ago, and that's whenever that wave started.
Yeah.
And then we probably got, like I said, 3 or 4 albums like completely finished. They need mastered and touched up a little bit, but we're gonna drop those. I'll probably drop one more album. We'll probably drop the Never Been Normal mixtape 2 this year, and one more album maybe by the end of the year if we get the time and money and everything ready for it. And then it's just riding the wave and trying to bump shoulders with the right people in the meantime, bro.
How often are you recording?
Oh man, I took January off, and before that I was in there like once a week, twice a week, like at least. Like I try to get down there as much as I can.
Where are you recording at now?
ID Labs in Atlanta. But yeah, I try to get down there as much as often, just to keep you. It's like shooting free throws if you're a basketball player. Like you're gonna learn something new or find something you don't like to not do. And but yeah, I took January off, and the first time I got in the booth in February, it was like shaky, bro. It was like I had one good jam, and then I tried to make that club song, and that didn't turn out well. So I was like, man, we got to get back down here more often, bro. I'm losing it.
Well, I think it's awesome to hear that you're so persistent in terms of just in the studio and just working and developing your craft, because something that I find a lot with hip hop artists in particular is that they don't practice. They might write their ass off, but they're not actually recording all the time. They're not performing all the time. And it's kind of like, what are you going to do? Like be in your room, like rapping at the mirror? Like how are you going to...
Yeah, like Eminem at the beginning of 8 Mile.
I mean, like I ain't going to lie. I've had those moments. But it's a lot different than being in a band where you have bands that maybe they're practicing all the time, but they're not in the studio every week. That's not what you do with a band. You know, you might go in the studio once a year and record that album, but you're still rehearsing all the time.
Right.
So I find that a lot of MCs don't always take the time to actually rehearse performing. And then that comes across a lot in a lot of rappers that I see performing live.
Oh my God.
It's just like, yo, did you actually, sometimes like motherfuckers don't even sound like themselves.
I feel you.
It's like, you know, and like then they have the audacity to have like their like polished up vocal track in the background, and they're just like huffing and puffing on top of it.
God, cardio is everything.
Like this is a performance right now. You're
No,
just
I
like
hear you.
on top of your like perfectly auto-tuned backtrack vocals. I'm like, bro, like yeah, cardio for sure.
Oh my god, yeah, for sure. But bro, like people ask me like, what do you think makes you like stand out from artists in the city? And I think it's just my hunger and just my persistence staying in the studio. Like I feel like I want it more than anybody. You feel me? So I feel like that's what makes me the different one, and that's kind of how we got the title for the album.
That definitely helps. I think that those are the two core things I think anybody needs is persistence, patience, and there's another one I can't think of. Oh, productivity. There you go.
3 Ps.
Yeah, the 3 Ps. Yeah, just
I like that.
Patience, persistence, and productivity. Just keep working, man.
Hell yeah, no
just
doubt.
keep working.
You're gonna have to send me a beat pack, bro. I'm trying to work.
Yeah, so I'll tell you this: most of the beats that I do nowadays, I'm definitely a hoarder. I don't really.
I hear you.
I don't make a lot of stuff for other people anymore. I just don't have the time to be real with you.
No, I feel
you.
I mean,
like I do this show, I work full time, I got a girl, I got a house,
yeah,
I got
no doubt, bro.
I play in a band and all this stuff. So most of the time it's like, I'm only getting to like fuck with beats, like, maybe one night a week.
Right.
It's not like how it was back in the Taco Bell days where like, you know what I mean? Fucking work my little 6-hour shift and go home, and I had that youthful energy where I can like survive off 2 hours of sleep. I can't do that anymore. I wish I could just fucking drink Coca-Cola all night. Just fucking like live off Coca-Cola and Doritos and Taco Bell and be like fucking set. Like
life was good then.
Oh yeah, it was a fucking firecracker. Now I eat like one potato chip and I'm in bed for a month, bro. Like, can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Now I actually have to like watch what I eat, watch what I drink, watch like
No,
think about sleep,
bro.
think about like, trying to think about exercise and things, especially around shows and performances, and just take care. I'm not getting any younger.
No, that's
I'll tell you that.
Bro.
I might have this youthful energy. I may still be trying to live the life of a 21-year-old, but this body is not 21 anymore. I can tell you that. Man. So we're going to be wrapping up here. We've almost hit our hour. Before we do that, why don't you let people know where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, man. Follow me. Instagram and Twitter are both at John Mase 54th. And then you can go to my Johnny Mase page on Facebook, and then SoundCloud's Johnny Mase. You can search Johnny Mase on all the streaming platforms. You'll find something you like or hate or both. And Johnny_Mase on Snapchat. And then that's about it. If you hate it, leave a bullshit comment. Yeah. If you like it, hit the share button. Do that on this podcast too. I want to hear what we did good and bad. Hell yeah, please share the show. That would be neat if y'all did that. My man, follow my man too, bro. Sykes. Yeah. Start the beat. Start the beat with Sykes. Start the beat with Sykes. Boom. That's where we're at right now. And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for listening. One more time. I like this shit. Yeah. Johnny Mase, man. Yeah, thank you for having me, bro. Yeah, bro. Good appreciate to meet you, man. Yeah, you too. I look forward to seeing everything now that you're on my radar. I'll be aware. I'll be following you. I'll know what's up. My dog. Likewise. It may have taken 10 years for us to sit at a table together, but I'm sure now it won't be 10 years before we do it again. Hey. And I'll be back again in a couple days with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the beat 2020. Woo, woo. Thanks for listening. We're out. Peace.